right, guys, welcome back to the second part of the Guru Talking Sports podcast. This is episode 167B. Now, this is the B side, or the, oh gosh. I don't know what I did, but hey, it seems like every week now, it's like I'm doing something that, clicking to where I'm having two parts of this podcast. All right. This is the second part of this podcast, and this is going to be the wrap up, all right? So I'm only going to do about maybe 15 minutes or so trying to get the rest of this in. Okay. So I was telling you guys that I'm going to talk about the standings and the standings in Major League Baseball, and I'm going to add Gang Stars Check the Technique. This will be played right under the right under what I'm talking about, and we got to give credit to Gangstar and the song Check the Technique, okay? So, here we go. Alright, checking the standings right now. Tampa Bay is on top, 27-7. They have a 4.5 game lead over the Baltimore Orioles, who have been very, very surprisingly good, and they've been surging with all the youth that they have. And the Orioles hold a 2.5 game lead over the Boston Red Sox, who have been really, really good. Found themselves way out of the basement, won 8 straight, and they are now surging at 21-14. Toronto Blue Jays are just a half game behind them at 20-14. My Blue Jays have won 2 in a row, and they starting to pick it up, but they lost some ground to Boston and to Baltimore. They find themselves in 4th place. Yankees are in last place. 3 games over 500, and they've been having problems. Aaron Judge and what's his name? The other guy, Stanton, have been out. 1-1. They beat the Rays yesterday. Minnesota holds the lead in this Central, 19-15, and they are 3 games up on the Detroit Tigers, who have been playing pretty good. And they're 2 games over 500 at 15, or 2 games under 500, at 15-17. Cleveland Guardians are 15-18. They are a half game behind Detroit. Chicago White Sox are 8 games off the lead, 11-23, and Kansas City is probably one of the worst teams in baseball. They are 8-26, 11 games out. Texas holds the lead in the AL West. 1 game, 19, and they are 1 game above the Los Angeles Angels, who have been playing pretty good, even though Shohei Ohtani has now become the second player in Major League Baseball to have 500 strikeouts and 100 home runs, right behind the great Babe Ruth. Like I said, Shohei Ohtani is something that we have never seen before in our lifetime. I don't know if many of you have been around since Babe Ruth's time, but hey, this is something that is really remarkable. Houston Astros are a game above 500 at 17-16, 2.5 games behind the Texas Rangers. Seattle is 1 game under 500, 16-17, 3.5 games behind the Texas Rangers. Oakland A's, we all know what's happening in Oakland, and we don't like it. They are also 8-26, tied for the worst league or worst record in baseball. In the National League, Atlanta is 23-11, hold a 6-game lead over the Mets, who are 17-17, and they still having problems with getting Scherzer and Verlander. Verlander came in the other day and played, but it wasn't that good, and they are still struggling. Miami is only a game behind the Mets at 16-18, 2 games under 500. Philadelphia, the World Series champions, the Phillies are 15-19, 8 games back. The Washington Nationals are only 9.5 games back. They're 13-20. The Central has a big surprise. We have not seen this before. The Pittsburgh Pirates are on top. 20-14. They hold a 1.5 game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. 2.5 games over the Chicago Cubs. 5.5 games over the Cincinnati Reds. And guess who's in last place? You would not believe this, but the St. Louis Cardinals have only won 10 games. They are 14 games under 500, and they're 10 games out of first place. Wow. Dodgers. My Dodgers are 20-14. They hold a half-game lead over the surprising Arizona Diamondbacks. Wow. Diamondbacks are 5 games over 500. Padres. We all know that Padres got a lot of power, but they are 2 games over 500 and 2 games out of first place. The San Francisco Giants are 2 games under, 4 games back of the Dodgers. The Colorado Rockies are in last place. They are 13-21, 7 games off the lead in the NL West. All right, so that's a baseball wrap-up. Check the technique on the baseball wrap-up. What I'm going to do is probably do this like maybe once every other time or whatever to let you guys know who's surging and who's falling behind in the standings and all. And I think this is going to be a pretty good segment because of baseball. I love the game. I love this game. Anyway, bring down the music. And I want you guys to know that this baseball thing is blowing up because of the new rules and everything. It is very, very much a great, great game. Okay. Couple things that, like I said, I want to mention before I wrap this up because I'm only going to do like maybe 15 minutes on this side. I hate to do this, but yeah, you're going to get a 2-parter this week. Okay. Voice actress lady I want to mention, again, like I said, I really, really appreciate the voice actress lady. She works hard. She does a lot of she's like the most busiest person I know. But I want to thank her for making time for me this week and helping me out. And thank you once again, voice actress lady. Your contribution to this podcast is just tremendous, and I really, really appreciate it. Also want to mention my girl, Bella B. Bella B in Calgary. Appreciate you. Always glad to talk to you. And hey, hope you won some money on the Derby. My friend Mel, thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for the compliment on listening to the podcast and liking my voice. I know it can be annoying sometimes, but I just try to do. And you know what, Mel? I am such a, I gotta admit, I am such a dunce sometimes. I know that you listen to this podcast, and that's how you know my voice. Okay. All right. I want to mention that. All right. Rick in Buffalo, I'm going to have him back on pretty soon because I know that, he's very busy as well. He's one of the busiest guys, but I always talk to him. I always make sure that, he gets a shot, gets a shot in here. And I got faith in him. I think he's going to do it this year. He's going to win the smack off this year. The guru's always right. And like I told you guys, listen to what I say because Rick is going to win this thing this year. I'm praying that, Rick wins. Either Rick or my man, Jeff in Southland. I really appreciate those two guys. I really, like I said, hey, those are my guys, and I really appreciate them. All right, before I get out of here, like I said, next week we're going to have a special show. We're going to talk about the life and times of my man, Cousin Aaron. And Cousin Aaron was a great contributor to this podcast. I think if I say anything about Cousin Aaron, is that he was loyal and dedicated. And like I said, I found Cousin Aaron on Facebook and, found out that he is really related to me some kind of way. Believe me, down the line, the Briscoe family is gigantic. And I know that he is really a blood relative. some kind of way. I don't, like I said, there's got to be at least 500 people in my family on the Briscoe side. A lot of people. That's a lot of people. Not including all the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren of my departed grandparents. There's a lot of people in here. And I got to admit that they are, it's just, we're solid 500 some odd strong. Probably more than that. So we're going to pay tribute to Cousin Aaron next week and give him some due. His birthday is on the 11th, and the day of his passing he actually passed 2 days after his birthday on the 13th of May. So we're going to recognize Cousin Aaron and his dedication and his loyalty, and hopefully I can get a couple people on to speak on Cousin Aaron and hear their opinions. And like I said, remember him. It's been a year. It's been a tough year. But we have to give him his credit. And like I told you guys, if you never listened to this podcast before, there's a chair that sits right next to me. Every podcast that I do, this chair sits here, and I know that Cousin Aaron's spirit is sitting here right with me, punching me and kicking me and directing me in the right place, because Cousin Aaron was something special. He was a special guy, and we miss him very, very dearly. Okay, before I leave out of here, I want to mention some TV shows. Okay, are you guys watching Succession? That Succession is probably the best show on television right now. Now, I didn't mention anything about Snowfall because that ended ended last month, and if you watch the last show, very, very touching, very disturbing. But then again, rest in peace to my man, John Singleton. Excellent show. If you haven't watched it, you got to check it out. It's called Snowfall. Excellent show. Rabbit Hole, I'm still trying to get some episodes in on Rabbit Hole, but I've actually been trying to do a lot more watching General Hospital. General Hospital, I know, it's a soap, and, why do you watch a soap? Because, like I said, when I was in the Navy and I sat out on the water for 400 some odd days, that was the only thing that we was able to get that was kind of like we got into. And when you're sitting on the water for 400 days, you'll watch anything, believe me, any live television or television, period. So I'm watching that. A Small Light is something about the Jewish people in Germany, and I'm watching that, and you gotta watch it. I think it's pretty good. Very interesting. East New York, I'm watching that. I love East New York. One of my favorite shows. Great cast. I'm still watching that. Somebody Somewhere, watching that. I love Bridget Elliott Everett. She's great. She's a funny comedian. Still watch Jerry Springer. Yes, I do. I watch Jerry Springer. Like I said, mentioned last week, my condolences goes out to his family. And like I said, it's wild, it's crazy, it's, kind of like not inappropriate for anybody, but I watch it. FBI, I watch all the time. The FBI's, I watch all the time. The Chicago's, I watch all the time. The Connors, I watch. Also, the Honeymooners. I love Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason was one of my favorites, and definitely have to watch that. Okay, so I'm done with that. All right, you guys know where to find me. You guys know how to reach me and know how to get with me. But I want you guys to know that this has been a two-parter again. And like I said, next week will probably be episode 168 because we got some two-parters here now. All right, follow me on social, YouTube. I'm going to have something on my YouTube page, and, in the future, pretty soon. And I think I'll probably get some of that out next week. Facebook, Guru's Daily Shorts. IG, The Guru Talking Sports _podcast on IG. Gmail me at gurusdailyshorts@gmail.com. Remember me on Twitter, MACKGTS _BB39. Find me on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Podchasers, Pod Gurus, all that stuff. Anywhere you find your podcast, believe me, check me out. All right, big props and shout outs to my podcast sister. She has a great series. I've been catching it. This week she talks to a young lady that lost her son. She's an author, and I got through the first part of it. I'm gonna have to finish up listening to it. But her segment, her 6-part, 6-part series is wonderful. It's excellent. I want you guys to find it and definitely check it out. Check it out, the Mary Mac Show on Grief, and check out her website. Check out her YouTube show as well. And like I said, it's the Grief Authority. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to finish and talk about it a little bit more. I'll talk about it next week, because next week is probably going to be a show on grief, because we're going to be talking about Cousin Aaron. And I might have to pause a little bit and, for the situation that's going on. My man Jeff Duarte, Cali Sports News, appreciate you. Thank you for, everything that you do. My cousin Curtis and Jarrett, Young GM, check that show out. My baseball insider, Mr. Dave May Jr., thank you for everything that you do. My hip-hop dude and mentor and, great guy, my man Danny Rivera. Historic dude, and I really appreciate him. My D-Alien peeps, I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything, and I love you guys. Love all you guys. So many to mention. I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, I'm not supposed to do shout outs, but I do mention people when I can. All right. This has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Sports. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved. We don't hate, we congratulate. We always create and we don't steal from anybody. And like I said, we gave credit to Gangstar, Check the Technique, and the two leads, what I got to do. And I really appreciate that. You guys check me out next week. We'll be back with hopefully a one-parter, and we can get everything in. I don't know why this thing has been cutting off and doing all this craziness, but it's giving me 2 parts, so you guys will get another 2-part podcast. It's going to be a little long. It's going to probably be about over an hour and a half, so stick with me. You guys, I love you. We'll see you back here next week. And remember, the Guru will see you real soon. Be safe. Enjoy your week. Schedule comes out in the NFL on Thursday. That's right, Thursday. Matter of fact, that will be Cousin Aaron's birthday. Guys, we'll talk to you soon. Take care. The Guru will see you back here next week. Enjoy the rest of your sports weekend. Take care. Later.